Ever wondered what happens to the heroes of countless wars when they can no longer fight on the front lines? Where do these honorably discharged veterans go when their bodies are broken, but their spirit to serve remains unbroken? The answer lies in the heart of the galaxy's industrial might, the Forge Worlds. These aren't just planets, they are colossal, planet-sized factories, the anvils upon which the machinery of entire sectors is forged. And they are home to countless veterans who have traded their lasguns for lathes, their power armor for protective gear. These veterans, scarred and seasoned by conflict, find a new purpose here. Their discipline, their resilience, and their unwavering dedication, once assets on the battlefield, are now invaluable in the roaring foundries and sprawling manufactorums of the Forge Worlds. They are the backbone of the industrial labor force, the skilled hands and watchful eyes that ensure the ceaseless production of everything from simple ammunition to the mighty starships that ply the void. They aren't just forgotten soldiers. They are honored workers, continuing their service in a different, yet equally vital, capacity. This system provides them with a place, a purpose, and a way to continue contributing to the very civilization they fought to protect. It's a testament to the idea that service never truly ends. Imagine a world where the sky is not blue, but a perpetual haze of industrial smog, illuminated by the eternal glow of molten metal. The air hums with a constant thrum of machinery, a symphony of production that never ceases, day or night. The very ground beneath your feet might be a latticework of steel and circuits, built upon layers and layers of forgotten industry from millennia past. This is the reality of a Forge World. Cities are not clusters of homes and parks, but sprawling, interconnected factory complexes called manufactorums. Rivers of liquid promethium flow where water once did, and mountains are not rock, but slag heaps accumulated over 10,000 years of relentless production. Life on a Forge World is one of tireless work and devotion to the machine. The population, including those honorable veterans we mentioned, lives in densely packed hive-like hablocks, their lives dictated by the chimes of work shifts rather than the rising and setting of a sun they may never see. Every aspect of society is geared towards one singular goal: production. From the nutrient paste they consume to the recycled air they breathe, everything is optimized for efficiency. For the veterans who transition here, it's a different kind of battlefield. The enemy is no longer a physical foe, but inefficiency, production quotas, and the ever-present risk of industrial accidents. Yet they face it with the same stoicism and resolve they showed in the trenches. So, what exactly do these colossal factory planets produce? The short answer is everything. Absolutely everything. A Forge World is the primary, and often sole, source of manufactured goods for an entire sector of space, which can encompass hundreds of star systems. They produce the weapons and ammunition for the armies, from the humble lasgun carried by a guardsman to the city-leveling cannons of a Titan war machine. They construct the vehicles, the tanks, the flyers, and the armored transports that ferry soldiers into the heart of battle. They build the starships from nimble scout vessels to colossal battleships capable of breaking a planet's orbit. But their output isn't just limited to the tools of war. Forge Worlds are the origin of all advanced technology. They manufacture the cogitators that run planetary governments, the voxcasters for interstellar communication, the medical equipment for Medicae stations, and even the cybernetic augmentations that can replace a veteran's lost limbs, allowing them to continue their work. They create the agricultural machinery needed to feed 1 trillion souls on a distant agri-world, and the life support systems for void stations hanging in the black. Essentially, if it's a piece of technology more complex than a sharpened stick, chances are it began its life in the fiery heart of a Forge World. This makes them the irreplaceable heart of their respective sectors. Now, let's zoom out and consider the galactic economy. The universe is vast, and supply lines are stretched to their breaking point. Transporting goods between sectors can take years, even decades. This makes each sector largely self-sufficient, a semi-isolated economic bubble. And at the center of each of these bubbles is its Forge World. It's not just a supplier. It's the economic sun around which all other planets in the sector orbit. Agri-worlds grow the food to feed the Forge World's teeming population. Mining worlds extract the raw ore and minerals that are shipped in massive freighters to be smelted and refined. Shrine worlds offer spiritual guidance, and civilized worlds provide the administrative oversight. In this intricate web, the Forge World holds all the cards. It dictates the flow of resources. It sets the price for technology. Without its output, the armies would run out of bullets, the farms would fail without machinery, and the entire technological basis of the sector would crumble. This creates a relationship of absolute dependence. The other worlds in the sector exist to serve the Forge World, feeding its insatiable appetite for raw materials and labor, also it can continue its vital production. The Forge World is the engine, and all other worlds are just fuel for the fire. This economic dominance gives them immense political power, often making them a force to be reckoned with in sector-wide politics. This brings us to the most critical point, the terrifying fragility of this system. Because an entire sector is so utterly dependent on a single Forge World, the loss of that one planet means the collapse of everything. It's the ultimate single point of failure. If a Forge world were to fall, whether to enemy invasion, internal rebellion, or a catastrophic industrial disaster, the consequences would be immediate and apocalyptic for the entire sector it supports. Imagine the chain reaction. The flow of weapons, ammunition, and replacement parts to the front lines would stop. Armies, no matter how brave, would be overwhelmed as their guns fall silent and their tanks break down with no hope of repair. The technological infrastructure of every planet in the sector would begin to decay. Life support systems would fail. Communications would go dark, and societal order would break down. The agri-worlds unable to maintain their machinery would face mass famine. The entire sector would be plunged into a technological dark age, vulnerable and defenseless. It wouldn't be a slow decline, it would be a sudden, catastrophic collapse from which recovery would be impossible. A new Forge world can't just be built overnight. It takes millennia of accumulated knowledge and infrastructure. This is why Forge worlds are among the most heavily defended planets in the galaxy. They are bastions, fortified with orbital defense platforms, ground-based weapon batteries, and legions of dedicated soldiers. The defense of a Forge world is not just about protecting a planet. It's about preserving the lifeblood of an entire segment of the galaxy. An attack on a Forge world is an existential threat, and it is met with the most overwhelming and ruthless force imaginable. The veterans who work there know this better than anyone. They've seen what happens when supply lines break. Now, they are the supply line. Their work isn't just a job. It's a sacred duty, a continuation of their vow to protect civilization, not on the battlefield, but at the very forge of its creation. Let's think about the strategic implications. For an enemy commander, a Forge world is the ultimate prize. Capturing one intact means gaining control of an entire sector's industrial output. You wouldn't just be defeating an army. You'd be stealing its ability to ever fight again. You would be able to rearm your own forces and turn the sector's own might against its former masters. This makes Forge worlds the primary targets in any major strategic campaign. The battles fought over these worlds are legendary in their scale and ferocity, involving millions of soldiers, fleets of starships, and the kind of destructive weaponry that can crack continents. Conversely, for the defenders, there is no retreat. There is no falling back. The loss of the Forge world is an unthinkable outcome. This leads to brutal, grinding wars of attrition where every inch of ground is paid for in blood and steel. If capture seems imminent, scorched earth protocols are often enacted. It is considered better to destroy the Forge world entirely, to deny its industrial capacity to the enemy, than to let it fall into their hands. This might involve triggering volcanic cataclysms, overloading continent-sized plasma reactors, or unleashing technological plagues. The destruction of a Forge world is a tragedy that will echo for centuries, dooming its sector, but it's a price many are willing to pay to prevent an even greater disaster. So, the next time you think about the grand scale of galactic warfare, remember the Forge worlds. They are more than just factory planets. They are monuments to industry, sanctuaries for veterans, and the fragile linchpins holding entire sectors together. They are the heart that pumps the lifeblood of technology and war across the stars. The tireless work of the honorably discharged veterans and countless other laborers in these smog-choked hellscapes is what allows civilization to endure in a hostile universe. Their continued existence is the silent, humming promise of survival, while their fall represents the ultimate doom. The fate of trillions rests on the anvils of these mighty worlds. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this deep dive into the galactic economy interesting, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Let me know in the comments what other corner of the universe you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious.